Welcome to the Ceramic Stadium. Villareal against Real Madrid. It's Sunday's final game in matchday 24 of the Liga Santander. Always a thrill to see the white strips of Real Madrid trotting out onto the pitch. Real Madrid with still a game in hand, have the possibility of extending the lead, but Barcelona are currently clear of Madrid. Madrid play now, and then we'll have a game in hand, just to clear up exactly what I mean. But it's always a tough visit to Villareal. Fran Escribá has his side working well. So well, in fact, they got a 1-0 win away to Rome in the Europa League on Thursday. The men chosen to face Madrid tonight: Sergio Senjo in goal. Back four of Gaspar, Musacho, Ruiz and Costa. In midfield, Samu Castillejo and Jonathan Dos Santos playing wide. The defensive pivot of Manu Trigueros and Bruno Soriano. Up front, Cedric Bakambu and Adrian Lopez. And, well, that's the area where Escribá has perhaps surprised us most, selecting those two. Haven't really been playing too regularly this season for the Yellow Submarine. Avalos Martos, Nevado Rodrigo are the linesmen. Gil Manzano, the referee for tonight's game. Villareal going along quite nicely in the league. They'll be facing Real Madrid, who have Keylor Navas in goal. Back four of Dani Carvajal, Pepe, Sergio Ramos and Marcelo. In midfield, well, it's got a familiar look when they're all fit: Luka Modric, Casemiro and Toni Kroos. And up front, a familiar look when they're all fit: the BBC, Bale, Benzema and Cristiano Ronaldo. Gareth Bale gets his first start since coming back from injury, and that means the first start since November. Real Madrid will be looking to keep their lead going with that extra game in hand, of course, a match against Celta. Villareal, while despite winning in Rome on Thursday, they were humiliated in the home leg, lost 4-0 to the Italians and are out of Europe this season. They got considerably further in the Europa League last season, only falling to Liverpool in the semi-finals. That means they can concentrate on the league, and Villareal are going along pretty well in 6th place on 39 points. Duncan Bishop, it'll be interesting to see Benzema, Bale and Ronaldo playing up front for Real Madrid after their disappointing defeat midweek in the game they had carried over against Valencia.
Yeah, good evening, Simon. It's a big game for Real Madrid, having lost one of those 2 games that they have in hand. They were outplayed as well by Valencia in midweek, but as you say, Gareth Bale coming back in. He has impressed since he's returned. He had that cameo appearance against Espanyol, in which he managed to score. Real Madrid were a different side in the final stages of the game against Valencia at Mestalla when Bale came on. When they're firing on all cylinders, there are a few better strike forces in world football. Real Madrid coming up against a Villareal side who haven't lost in 4.
Villareal side with the tightest defence in the division. Sergio Senjo looking odds-on favourite to win the Zamora prize, the prize for the keeper who concedes the fewest goals. Just 15 goals conceded so far this season by Sergio Senjo. Dos Santos plays himself into trouble, runs up against Casemiro and Pepe, and it's a throw to Real Madrid. Dani Carvajal.
Well, both of these sides have seen results earlier today work against them in a way. Barcelona have moved ahead of Real Madrid in the table, albeit Madrid do have that game in hand. They beat Atletico Madrid earlier on in this match day.
Benzema gets into Marcelo in the box. The Brazilian goes down, can't control it. It will be a goal kick.
Well, in the game that's just finished as well, Athletic Club beating Granada, and they've moved to within a point of Villareal.
It's more or less the Gala 11 selected by Zinedine Zidane. Certainly in midfield and up front, Modric, Casemiro and Kroos, the midfield trio favoured by the French manager. Perhaps at the back, there would be questions about whether Pepe is still first choice in central defence alongside Sergio Ramos, or whether that would be Rafa Varane, who was criticised for his performance in Mestalla midweek in that defeat. Surprise defeat to a certain extent. Here's Luka Modric. Gets it back sharply from Casemiro. Ramos finds Marcelo. Ronaldo, who's dropped well wide to the left. A tester there. Didn't really strike it, but just to get his eye in. Ronaldo always quick to snap off a shot.
Get on a score sheet against Valencia. Still hasn't looked really himself this season, but has been banging in the goals almost quietly and under the radar. Ronaldo climbing his way up the Pichichi chart. Still trails Leo Messi, who also scored today.
Well, Ronaldo of late has been starting in a much wider position, leaving the central attacking role to Benzema, although they do swap positions on a regular basis. Jaume Costa under pressure from Benzema. The interception coming from Carvajal. Casemiro playing it back to his captain Sergio Ramos. This is Marcelo.
Well, Ronaldo will be helped by the presence of Bale. There's just far more of an understanding when there's three up front, and those positions can be interchanged. When he's playing up top alongside Karim Benzema, it's a little bit more static.
Bakambu didn't know too much about it. It's brought down by Ronaldo. He loses out to Bruno Trigueros. Soriano quick to find Victor Ruiz. A little touch on from Dos Santos. Kept in play. This is Bale. Finds Benzema. Benzema. An intelligent ball wide to Marcelo. Keeps the ball in play. Sergio Ramos. Marcelo.
This is one of the tougher grounds to visit. Barca had plenty of problems here until Messi popped up late.
It falls to Casemiro. Here's Modric. Was in shooting range. He picks out Dani Carvajal. Modric again. Here's Pepe. Carvajal screaming for it in a decent-sized gap there. Modric goes through the middle, out wide to Bale. Bale drives it in low. Modric. It's blocked by Bruno Soriano, and that should be a corner. That's certainly what Luka Modric feels. A decent flowing attacking football there from Real Madrid. Modric very much in the middle of things.
And they're a different side when Modric is involved, and well, really should have been a corner. As you said, Fran Escribá watching on. He's done a tremendous job since taking over. Must reiterate the fact he only took over a few days before the start of the season. Marcelino deciding to vacate his post, or rather the owners deciding to vacate his position. Fran Escribá coming in after not doing a great job at his previous clubs, but has continued from the work that Marcelino started last season. He's got Villareal competing well and challenging for European positions.
Musacchio, probing ball through the middle, but all the advantages for Dani Carvajal. Keylor Navas with his first touch of the evening. This is Sergio Ramos. Trigueros goes into press, and well, it works because it's a throw into Villareal as Zinedine Zidane looks on.
This is going to be the test of Zinedine Zidane, having lost the game and feeling a bit of pressure on him.
Castillejo tries with the shot from a distance, never really testing Keylor Navas.
Had that spell where he lost his first game against Sevilla, and problems since then, some rather erratic form from Real Madrid. But it's just a sign of how well they started the season, the fact that even with a few slip-ups, they still remain top of the league, more or less. Barcelona have moved ahead, but Real Madrid have the game in hand.
Modric losing out, and Chama Costa wins a throw for Villareal. Difficult to say that either side has really come out putting the pressure on. Musacchio just failing to bring it down there. Cristiano Ronaldo. There's Samu Castillejo. Bruno intercepted by Marcelo, won back straight away by Castillejo. Trigueros being harried by Benzema there. Trigueros. Mario back to Bruno Soriano. Dos Santos to Ruiz, finally Costa.
And one thing that can be said about Villareal, they certainly move the ball around well. They've got one of the better midfields in all of the Liga, the likes of Trigueros and Bruno pulling the strings. Castillejo as well, who scored that last gasp winner last weekend against Real Sociedad.
There's Bruno Soriano through the middle towards Bakambu. Dos Santos finding Castillejo. Gets away from Casemiro, and Dos Santos couldn't quite bring it out from under his feet. He wins it back on Marcelo, and Casemiro was absolutely providential there. Luka Modric, Benzema, Bale down the right. He goes inside to Toni Kroos. Castillejo was there, takes a tumble, and Toni Kroos penalised. And look at the German's body language there. I think he probably feels that, if anything, he was more sinned against than sinning there.
He didn't see Castillejo coming in as he went for the ball.
Does catch him, however. The contact is there, and the foul is given. It's quickly taken by Musacchio. Bruno Soriano. Ruiz.
Even though they lost the first meeting between the two sides, Villareal have a good record against some of the heavyweights in the division. Got an away point against Madrid while holding Barcelona, and comfortably dispatching Atletico Madrid at home.
Manu Trigueros on the ball for the Yellow Submarine. Samu Castillejo. Mario Gaspar. It came off Casemiro for a Villareal throw, starting to dominate proceedings.
This really isn't the ideal fixture for Real Madrid, having seen that they've dropped points already to Villareal this term.
Good run from Trigueros, cutting it back nicely. And it's a fine save from Keylor Navas, and it had to be. The attempt from Matteo Musacchio. Navas had to fly. Great work from Trigueros there. And Mario Gaspar's attempt was going on target. Castillejo. Dos Santos. Adrian can't get away from Benzema. Castillejo plays it square to Trigueros. Good ball to Adrian, but the flag up for offside. And that's a good spell of play from Villareal. Just showing Real Madrid that they're not going to have it all their own way. Trigueros did brilliantly there. It's a fine save from Navas. Mario Gaspar's shot, it just didn't quite bounce right for him.
Well, Trigueros has been absolutely fantastic for Villareal this season. If you were going to put together a La Liga 11 so far in the campaign, Trigueros would probably be in it. He's shown he's got a great shot himself from a distance, but great work on the ball to open it up for Gaspar.
Toni Kroos speaking out Luka Modric. Carvajal. Touch from Casemiro to Benzema. Ronaldo gets out of his way. He was blocked neatly by Gaspar. Castillejo. Ramos losing out to Bakambu. Cedric Bakambu just bullying his way through there. Castillejo. The fans are enjoying this. It's Bruno Soriano. Victor Ruiz to Jaume Costa. Adrian still looking for his first Villareal goal this season. Dos Santos to Castillejo. Shakes off the challenge of Casemiro. Gaspar, Castillejo. Mario Gaspar again. And in the end, that'll be a Real Madrid throw. And certainly taking the early initiative, the home side. Here's Modric. Now Gareth Bale. Very few touches so far, the Welshman. It's a powerful midfield play from Cruz. Benzema. Ronaldo in the middle. Bale on the far post. Benzema can't get away from Musacchio. The cross straight to Dos Santos. The home fans appreciative of the good work there. Spoiled a little bit. Marcelo's cross. Ruiz gets the headed block, and it's hoiked away by Jaume Costa. Bakambu was up for that with Pepe. Comes to Carvajal.
There's a bit of pressure now from Real Madrid. They just soaked it up in the early going by that run down the right channel from Modric. Just see how the interplay works, because Gareth Bale's finally moving over to the left-hand side. There's finally been a bit of a change between he and Ronaldo and Benzema. That's what's made them so dangerous over the years.
This is Dani Carvajal, picks out Toni Kroos. Marcelo. Gareth Bale. Bale's cross is a good one. Benzema was up for it, and the referee gives a corner. First corner for Real Madrid. Modric felt he'd won one in that earlier move you were talking about, Duncan, but good response from the Whites after soaking up about 5 minutes of pressure from the home side.
Ronaldo thought there was a case for a penalty there. He thought there was a handball. The corner probably the fairer call.
Toni Kroos with the corner. Ronaldo got his head to it. Samuel Castillejo with a rather wild attempted clearance. Ramos wins it. Modric's cross. Ronaldo underneath it, took a deflection into the hands of Sergio Asenjo. Long, quick clearance to Bakambu. He can't control it. Throw into Real Madrid.
Well, some changes up top for Villareal today. Sansone, the top goal scorer for Villareal, is carrying a knock, so unavailable. Soldado, the one-time Real Madrid player, is on the bench as he makes his gradual recovery from injury.
Dani Carvajal. Gareth Bale. Little touch on from Benzema to Modric. It's fallen nicely for him. Ronaldo's there, and that's brilliantly defended by Mario Gaspar. Getting goal side of Ronaldo, who was trying to bring the ball into control. But once again, Real Madrid starting to pose a couple of questions of the excellent Villareal defence. As I said earlier, the meanest in the Liga Santander this season. Musacchio. Casemiro. There's Cruz with the interception. The home fans and players appealing for a throw and being given it. And Mario Gaspar will take it. 16 minutes on the clock, no score in the Ceramic Stadium.
Newly renamed this year, right ahead of the game against Football Club Barcelona. Nearly marked that with a victory. But Barcelona firing back late, courtesy of Leo Messi free kick. An absolutely fantastic free kick. Also a suspicious handball from Bruno that wasn't given.
Won by Adrian in the air, gets it back from Bakambu, cutting inside now. Adrian very comfortable with the ball at his feet. Plays it wide here to Costa. Costa's cross. They've taken the deflection, but it was an awkward one in the end. Casemiro got it away under pressure from Bakambu. It'll be a corner for Villareal. And perhaps a bit fortunate to get away with that challenge, Cedric Bakambu. He's a very physical striker. It's Going to be Jonathan Dos Santos with the service. And the whistle goes, I think, for a challenge on Keylor Navas.
Goalkeepers normally quite heavily protected in Spanish football. That was actually a pushover by Gareth Bale on Keylor Navas. Might have been Musacchio involved as well, giving a shove to Bale, but it was Bale who got that contact on Keylor Navas that sent him to the ground.
And Gil Manzano impressing everybody in the stadium by insisting that the free kick gets retaken. Kept in play just by Ronaldo. Musacchio sending it down the line, blocked by Ramos. This is Marcelo. Sergio Ramos. Pepe directing him towards the right flank where Gareth Bale is waiting. Gets it back from Carvajal. Carvajal again. It's good pressing by Villareal, but managed to find Toni Kroos. He picks out Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo taking on Mario Gaspar, whipping the cross in low to the near post, where Sergio Asenjo gobbles it up. 18 minutes, nearly 19 on the clock. No score. And well, both sides showing some decent football when they get the rival penalty area in their sights. Benzema brings that down. It's a bit of a stretch for Modric. He controls it. Good run. Lays it off for Gareth Bale. It's a fine challenge there by Adrian, of all people. But that Modric-Bale understanding just gets better and better over the years. Started off, of course, at Tottenham Hotspur before being moved lock, stock and barrel to the Bernabeu. They barely have to look at each other to know where to play the ball. Ramos. That's a lovely weighted ball for Carvajal. I think he was just struggling to keep it in play and couldn't make the cross count. Dos Santos. Adrian. Bakambu. Dos Santos. Well, it's a great idea, but a fine interception from Ramos. He feeds it wide to Marcelo. Ramos has continued his run. Marcelo's cross is excellently cleared. Bakambu helping out at the back, wins a free kick. Casemiro, the guilty party, but Madrid looking sharp there.
It just shows the confidence of Sergio Ramos. He took that one at pace and just decided to sprint into the box himself, always offering up an attacking option for Real Madrid, showing no fear of losing shape at the back or of any counter-attack. Ramos absolutely convinced the ball was coming back to him.
This is Mario Gaspar, intercepted by Casemiro with ease. First time from Ronaldo. Benzema, the flag's up for offside. No question that the Frenchman was in a legal position there. Just failing to get back in time as Ronaldo flicked the pass on first time. What a pass it was too. Trigueros to Costa. Inside. Dos Santos. Trigueros. This is Ruiz to Musacchio. Very, very comfortable on the ball, Villareal. Castillejo just got away with him. It fell nicely for him. And in the end, it's cleared any which way. Villareal will start again. Bruno to Bakambu. Back to Dos Santos. Dos Santos wide. This is Adrian. Running at Carvajal. Turning him. Still Adrian, and he just couldn't get the shot off. It was nodded behind by Sergio Ramos. It will be a corner. He's trying to find the way through, twisting and turning Carvajal, but just couldn't get it to fall right and just couldn't find the moment to pull the trigger. Corner for Villareal.
Adrian has been absolutely everywhere on the pitch in the opening 22 minutes.
Dos Santos and Samu Castillejo standing over it. It's going to be Dos Santos. Headed down by Costa. That looked like a prepared set-piece move, but it didn't quite pay off. And finally, Mario Gaspar plays it back to Sergio Asenjo. Despite the fact that Villareal have such a solid, such a tight defence, well, their attacking play very creative as well, although they are lacking goal, I think it's fair to say. Soldado just recently back after injury, an injury picked up at the very start of the season. But Cambu's had physical problems as well. And, well, as for Soriano, there's another option up front. But Sansone too. Not too many goals there. This is Bakambu to prove me wrong. Gives it away to Marcelo. Navas forced to clear. Advantage Bruno Soriano. He gives it away to Gareth Bale, who's got two men on him very quickly. He shakes them off. And that's a good ball to Marcelo.
Well, Villareal suffering a bit of a loss in the transfer market as well with the departure of Alexandre Pato. He's headed off to ply his trade in China. He'd been creating a good association with Sansone up top. Maybe lacking, as you say, with goals, but they had at least a good understanding and were getting other players involved. A bit of a loss after Pato had impressed so much in the first half of the season.
Marcelo with the cross. That's an awkward one. Oh, what a save from Asenjo. Benzema cannot believe it. That one seemed to hover above the goal line. Asenjo's taken a knock and wants treatment. The ball's still in play. Pepe continues. This time it goes out for a throw. Referee Gil Manzano goes across to see the Villareal keeper. What an astonishing save from Sergio Asenjo. I'll tell you what, if there was technology on the goal line in Spain, that would be interesting to have another look. Here comes Marcelo, twisting this way and that. The cross is fine. It's actually comes off Victor Ruiz, not Benzema, or maybe just clips Benzema's arm. It's a fine save, but it's right on the line.
He adjusts himself as well, Asenjo. He doesn't make the immediate leap. He takes a little hop step to make sure he can push the ball out. That might be where he's suffered the knock. It might just be from the fall, but Asenjo adjusting very well in the air. And good to see him getting back up to his feet, because Sergio Asenjo has struggled with injuries over the course of his career.
Yeah, quick to get off the bench and warm up, Andres Fernandez, but looks like Asenjo's doing fine. And the crowd at the Ceramic Stadium chant his name. Excellent reflexes there, fine save. And I think just slightly winded as he landed more than anything there. Didn't appear to do any obvious damage.
Maybe just jarred that knee as he was jumping slightly, but
that's good pressing from Benzema. Cruz looks up. Gareth Bale. Well, on that occasion, the understanding with Modric didn't pay off. Bale working hard to win it back. Casemiro. Now Toni Kroos. Marcelo. An ever-present presence down the left flank. Ronaldo's cross right across the face of the goal. Nobody there to greet it. Nacho and Isco there looking on from the dugout. Ronaldo has a little look up. Benzema waiting at the near post. Should perhaps have been at the far post. There's that earlier offside. Absolutely no doubt about it.
Madrid gradually getting back into the game. Pass accuracy is well up as well. It's in the 70% mark for both sides.
Here's Castillejo with a bit of space. Dos Santos storming through. Here is Dos Santos. Mario Gaspar wasn't the greatest pass from the Mexican and gets his head to it. That'll be a goal kick. Almost a textbook counter there from the Yellow Submarine.
Didn't look as if Dos Santos realised quite how much space he had. The defence had backed off him. He could maybe have turned there Instead decided to try and play a teammate who was further across the right channel.
There's Bruno. Trigueros quick to play it back to Victor Ruiz. Musacchio. Once more, his fellow centre-half, Victor Ruiz. Musacchio sending it straight into the dominions of Keylor Navas. Dani Carvajal. Modric. Brought down by Victor Ruiz, who prevents Modric from taking the quick free kick. Here's Sergio Ramos. Ronaldo to Cruz, back to Ramos. Was looking for a way to free Marcelo down the left flank. Casemiro couldn't quite bring it down, but Bakambu takes it off him. Goes down. Finds Dos Santos. That's a good ball. Castillejo. Oh, he gets away from Ramos. Oh, we had to make the choice there. Trigueros. Dos Santos, deflection and wide. Well, again, that's a brilliant counter-attack from Villareal. In the end, it was well defended by Real Madrid. Castillejo doing everything right there, and he just makes the wrong choice of cross. Hits it straight at Pepe when there were 3 yellow shirts in the box waiting. Corner number 4 for the home side. Dos Santos to take it. Swung into the far post, punched away by Navas, and once again the whistle goes for a foul on the keeper.
Yeah, that one maybe a little bit more quicker. The first one appeared as if Gareth Bale had pushed over Navas, having got pushed in the back himself. Well, the goalkeepers are heavily protected in Spain. Tremendous start to the match in the opening half hour. The referees just allowed play to continue mostly as well.
This is better from Villareal. Adrian driving at Pepe, gets away from him with ease for the second time. Just didn't seem to pluck up the courage to shoot there. If you could make the chip cross in towards the head of Bakambu, then he probably had a chance of a shot there too. I think he lost his opportunity, but Villareal insisting. Jaume Costa, good ball in. Bakambu couldn't make it. Castillejo, arriving on the far post, was stretching for the half volley, and they were ripped wide apart there, Real Madrid. Good pressing to take the ball off the Liga leaders as they tried to play it out. Neither Bakambu on the near post, who got the slightest of touches, nor Castillejo, who was stretching, could hit the target.
Just got under it, Castillejo, as it was bouncing up. If he makes just contact on that with his shin, might have just rolled it past Keylor Navas. Another good chance for Villareal.
It's Toni Kroos for Real Madrid. 30 minutes have been played in the Ceramic Stadium. It's a fair challenge on Bale by Jaume Costa, according to the referee. And that's a fair one by Casemiro on Trigueros. Trigueros needs to wait to get some support here. He does so brilliantly. Dos Santos back to Bruno Soriano. And again, Adrian. He's always been a selfless player, Adrian. His Bakambu gets into the area. Oh, it's pushed away by Navas, and Adrian was close to getting on the end of that. I have to say, Duncan, I can't remember Pepe being beaten with such ease on such a regular basis in recent times. He's looking absolutely lost out there.
Yeah, causing all sorts of problems for Pepe, dragging him wide. Both Adrian and Bakambu, of course, problems for him.
Trigueros insisting, he goes down. Play on, says the referee. Ramos finding Marcelo. And it's the best spell of the game for the home side so far. Toni Kroos stepping away from the challenges, waiting for support. He gets it from Dani Carvajal. Modric to Bale. Still Gareth Bale. Modric to Ramos. Benzema. Cruz picks out Marcelo. Marcelo's crossed to the far post. Bale was there to greet it. Under pressure from Victor Ruiz. He couldn't keep the header down. The medical staff of Villareal are asking Asenjo, who's clearly making the sign, the hand signal of needing to be substituted. Andres Fernandez has continued warming up since the earlier incident. It's the back of the knee. And, well, Sergio Asenjo is one player who doesn't need another injury problem. He's had an absolute nightmare over the years. Just when he was seeming to break into the Atletico Madrid first team, he picked up an injury that kept him out for the best part of a year. And
also a knee injury that kept him out for 8 months of action. Let's hope that it's nothing serious for Asenjo, who's the top performing goalkeeper in all of the Liga. Well, there's no question he's going to be subbed off. The one-time Osasuna goalkeeper Fernandez is going to come on in his place.
Sergio Ramos taking advantage to drink some water and chat to Zinedine Zidane. Escribá doing the same thing. 33, nearly 34 minutes on the clock. And the chants of Asenjo ring around the ceramic stadium. Here's the cross in from Marcelo. And Bale cluttering into Jaume Costa. And now the substitution being made, and Asenjo receiving a standing ovation. I'm not sure Gareth Bale came off 100% well from that last move. Certainly seemed to grimace in pain. Let's hope for Asenjo this is purely cautionary, as Andres Fernandez prepares to come on. Fran Escribá having words with the keeper and reassuring him. On will come Andres Fernandez, as you said, Duncan X of Osasuna. Also spent some time at Porto in the Portuguese league, and Granada.
Makes his first La Liga appearance for Villareal today. Has played in the Europa League for Villareal in this campaign, but first appearance for the club in a Liga match, and he does so against one of the most potent attacking forces in the entire division. We'll see, though, if that attacking force is weakened, whether Gareth Bale is maybe brought off at half-time, just as a precaution. Hasn't lasted too many minutes.
Well, he came off the bench on his comeback and played 20 minutes against Espanyol, scoring a goal. Played 30 minutes in Madrid's following fixture. Zidane's plan was always to have him fit for the 90 minutes for the return leg against Naples in the Champions League in early March. Here's Carvajal. Does well to get the cross in. Benzema. And first touch for Fernandez. Inside the last 10 minutes of the first half, although there will be some added time because of the injury to Asenjo. Flicked on by Bakambu. Ball in the control of Sergio Ramos. Now Pepe. And now Dani Carvajal. Luka Modric back to Carvajal. Still Modric. Good ball to Marcelo. Benzema. Modric. Floating it towards Bale. It was well intercepted by Costa. It's given away. Casemiro finding Bale, whose cross is blocked, and Bale holds the base of his shin there. So a couple of times he's appeared to be in the wars a bit, Gareth Bale. There will be just that mental question in his head about fitness after a long layoff. It's good from Villareal. Trigueros. Gaspar. Castillejo. Bruno Soriano. Samuel Castillejo again. Not afraid to run at his man. But no way through that time. This is Victor Ruiz as Villareal swing to the left flank.
Gareth Bale is trotting about a bit. We'll see just whether he grimaces at the end of the first half. It was those right ankle ligaments that he damaged that had him on that spell on the sidelines. See if the problem is with his right foot, or whether he can just continue where it was just a small knock.
Samu Castillejo. Long possession from Villareal, and that's brilliant skill from Castillejo. The winter corner, it was blocked by Sergio Ramos, the former Malaga man. Yeah, just absolutely doesn't know the meaning of the word fear when it comes to taking on La Liga Santander defenders. Corner number 5 for Villareal. Bruno Soriano's gone up for this one, so too Victor Ruiz and Mateo Musacchio. Dos Santos to take it. Going to fall to Adrian. Holding it up as best he can. Dos Santos. Castillejo. It's a chase for Adrian. And beautifully controlled in the end by Jaume Costa, who receives applause for playing it all the way back to his keeper. But it's controlled football that Villareal are offering here. Possession lost on just 33 occasions. That's not bad in nearly 40 minutes.
Yeah, very impressive for both sides moving forward. That just means it's a fast-paced game. The ball, well, the chances more or less alternating. At the moment, Villareal looking slightly better on the break. Castillejo is a real quality player over the right-hand side when you want someone on the fast break. An absolute snip of a signing from Malaga. He joined alongside Samuel, those two players from the Malaga Academy when Malaga were in real financial problems, and didn't automatically get part of Marcelino's plans, but under Fran Escribá, Castillejo is favoured on that right-hand side.
There's Dos Santos. Gaspar. Castillejo. Gets it back from Dos Santos. Through the middle, first time by Trigueros, who lost his footing, one straight back by Soriano. And somehow it fell to Casemiro, who's nearly robbed blind by Castillejo. It's one straight back again by the Yellow Submarine. The home fans are really enjoying this last 20 minutes or so, because Villareal are bossing Real Madrid. The score, however, remains at 0-0.
Very organised in the midfield as well, tracking back when they lose the ball, which is so important against Madrid, who can break so quickly.
Luka Modric, that looked like a Samuel Castillejo handball. Play on, says the referee. He might be having words with the Andalusian when the play stops. Castillejo all the way back to Andres Fernandez. Trigueros was up for that. Here's Dos Santos winning the ball easily now, Villareal, in this stage of the game. And this is making Real Madrid work quite a lot. Gareth Bale has gone all the way back to try and block the progress forward of Jaume Costa. This is Victor Ruiz. Soriano, Dos Santos spreading the ball around with confidence now. Manu Trigueros. And just given away by Castillejo. Well, I think maybe a little bit fortunate from that earlier reflex handball. I think Gil Manzana's just decided to let it go because the possession was so long, but he could have been looking at a yellow card for that. Dos Santos wins it. Adrian, so brilliant at holding the ball up and waiting for support. Jaume Costa. Ruiz to Trigueros. Back to Jaume Costa. Adrian, Dos Santos. Nearly losing out to Toni Kroos. This is better, however. This is Victor Ruiz. Bruno. Musacchio. Gaspar. Musacchio. 57% possession. Villareal over Real Madrid in the first half. Trigueros. Castillejo. Oh, lovely, lovely dummy. In comes the cross. But Bakambu just couldn't get there ahead of Pepe. Samu Castillejo's first half performance here, Duncan, is causing all kinds of problems down the right flank.
That was a wonderful piece of skill. Draws two defenders in, and just with that stalled pass, could have created something which could have resulted in the opening goal. Castillejo really up for this game. When he's on form, he causes so much problems down the right-hand side. He's never afraid to run at anybody, to get to the byline, can also play in the early cross. Well, he has left the Real Madrid defence at 6s and 7s. If it was Varane who was coming in for criticism in the game against Valencia, it might be Pepe who is on the receiving end of some criticism for first half performance in this one. Villareal are just overrunning him.
And there's a loose one from Toni Kroos. No way Marcelo could get back for that. Serious faces on the dugout. The fourth official preparing to inform us of how long will be added. I suspect at least a minute, if not two.
It would have to be so after that pause in the game to sub off Asenjo, and prior to that, him being treated on the field of play.
Still insisting, Villareal. Dos Santos to Trigueros. Here's Costa. Gets it back from Dos Santos. Oh, great play from Costa. In the end, it's blocked and cleared by Pepe. Dos Santos once more. Adrian back to the Mexican. Adrian, lovely footwork again. Costa. Advantage Carvajal, who wins a goal kick to the frustration of Adrian. Well, 3 minutes have been added, so plenty of time to continue enjoying this spirited first half performance from Villareal.
Real Madrid just never really got it going. Closest opportunity they had was that Benzema header, so well taken and kept out by Asenjo, but at a price, having to go off, being replaced by Andres Fernandez.
Bruno Soriano got the last touch. It's kept in play by Mario. That's a good ball too. Bakambu can chase that. Still Bakambu. Little back healer to Samu Castillejo. Oh, a beautiful nutmeg get through the legs of Casemiro. Just nobody coming in from the second line could get onto it. And it was Ramos in the end who managed to get it out. A little bit of a difference of opinion there between Dos Santos and Pepe. Free kick given in favour of Real Madrid.
Just looks so much more dangerous going forward, Villareal, than Real Madrid. They've had a few shots, courtesy of Ronaldo. Balls put across for Gareth Bale. Haven't really linked it together. Ronaldo's really faded in the last quarter of an hour or so.
Dangerous words as he picks that one up, goes down and wins a free kick. And Bruno Soriano isn't too happy with that. Oh, that is the lightest of touches. Lightest of touches there by the arm. Bruno absolutely furious. And here could be a real test of Andre Fernandez's mettle, with still plenty of time on the clock. Villareal will be kicking themselves really with the score at 0-0, and they'll want to defend this one securely. Toni Kroos is prepared to take it. Chipped in, headed across by Pepe, out by Costa, but the whistle's gone. Referee allowing absolutely no contact whatsoever in either of the penalty areas. Disappointed looking Cristiano Ronaldo. This occasion I think it's for offside against Pepe, isn't it? Who just broke away from the wall as the ball was sent in by Toni Kroos. 30 seconds left. And the extra, or the added time in this first half. Fernandes sends it deep. It's won by Adrian. Bakambu couldn't link with anybody. Sergio Ramos a little chip over the top. Helped on its way by Kroos. Marcelo finding Benzema, who runs at Mario Gaspar. Little back healer from Marcelo. This is better. Benzema. Fernandes. Well, it's going to go down as the final attack of the first half. And there was a lot of direct intent there from Real Madrid. But I think it's fair to say, Duncan Bishop, the first half, we'd have to give it to Villareal on points.
Sporadic chances for Real Madrid. Domination in terms of play and creativity. It's Villareal, but still 0-0. That's the problem for Villareal. They've got to convert their chances, something they haven't managed to do yet. They come close on a few occasions, but we'll see how Real Madrid adjust for the second half.
That second half we'll be bringing to you from the Ceramic Stadium in Villareal in just about a quarter of an hour's time. Lively, entertaining game of football with Villareal, Duncan Bishop, dominating things for large parts of the opening period.
Yeah, certainly have. Just 2 down points for Villareal in the first half. The injury to Sergio Asenjo, that man, and as Fernandes has come on to replace him. We hope that the injury to Sergio Asenjo is not too serious. No more news about that. The other bad news, they haven't been able to convert their chances, and as long as they don't do that, Madrid still in this game. It appears, though, Madrid haven't learned too many lessons from the weekend. Still looking a little bit impotent up top and struggling at the back at times against a Villareal side who aren't afraid to go at them.
Well, there was talk after that defeat against Valencia when they went 2-0 down early on and then dominated things, but couldn't get back on level pegging. Zinedine Zidane and some of the players saying that Madrid had taken a long time to play themselves into the match, that they hadn't really started firing on all cylinders, which has been a problem for Madrid really ever since Zidane's appointment. What they are good at doing, of course, is finishing the matches on full cylinders, but I think it's fair to say that Villareal were by far the more incisive of the two teams in the first half, although it's also fair to say Keylor Navas hasn't really had to make too many major saves.
Yeah, just really the one of any note, and a lot of the time the defence have been able to close things down, or they've just been mistakes from Villareal when it comes to the final shot, but they've looked really good in particular.
Here's one for Benzema, brings it down, has to turn, waiting for support to come. It comes slowly, a nasty deflection, nearly led that to into the path of Ronaldo, and Adrian holding it up, something he does so well. Here's Bruno Soriano. Jaume Costa down the line, Soriano to Trigueros. Bakambu making an intelligent run, but Casemiro so firm in midfield. Wins the ball back. That's a good ball for Modric to Gareth Bale. He gets into the box. Benzema straight at Andres Fernandez.
You've got to question the movement of Karim Benzema there. He made the angle a bit too narrow for Bale to get it to him at any pace. Maybe should just have sat back here when Bale had the pass available. And a pretty tame shot, but finally a bit of interaction between Bale and Benzema.
Well, it does demonstrate the lightning pace of these Real Madrid transitions. That was 3 touches, and Bale was in the box.
Shows the importance as well of Casemiro, because against a Villareal side who are so good in the midfield, who love to play the ball about, you need someone like Casemiro who can break down the play who can serve as a stopper and who can also kickstart a counter-attack from the middle distance.
Mario Gaspar getting on the end of Bruno Soriano's chip pass. This is Samu Castillejo inside to Trigueros. Trigueros back to Mateo Musacchio. Victor Ruiz picks out Jaume Costa. Ruiz once more. Dos Santos offering help. Ruiz sending it long instead. Adrian got a touch, just too light a touch there, and Dani Carvajal was able to aid him on his way off the playing surface. It's a goal kick to Real Madrid.
No changes for either side at half-time. There are options on the bench to switch things around, in particular for Real Madrid. We've got the likes of James, Lucas Vazquez, Morata and Isco, who could come on. Looks like Morata's preparing for a warm-up. I don't normally see Karim Benzema see out a game. We will see how long he lasts in this one, though. Zidane will probably want to keep the BBC together for as long as possible, just to try and get them back playing together again.
Adrian, a neat little touch back to Dos Santos. There's Dos Santos again. The way Villareal spread the Madrid defence wide. Castillejo to Mario. Pepe with the clearance. It comes to Bruno. It wasn't on his left foot. He didn't feel the confidence to try a shot. Adrian holding it up, chips to the far post. Castillejo was up there. Trigueros! Manu Trigueros breaks the deadlock. Villareal make it 1-0. You could sense it coming for practically the whole of the first half. The one occasion when the Real Madrid defence failed to clear the danger, Manu Trigueros was there on the edge of the box. There seemed no route through to goal, but as it bounced up, he drove it with his left foot, and it bounced beyond the defenders, beyond the reach of Keylor Navas, and into the back of the net. 1-0 to Villareal. It all started there with some excellent holding play by Adrian, headed down by Castillejo, and then the right foot of Manu Trigueros with a very intelligently played shot, you have to say, did the rest.
Good movement from Manu Trigueros as well. At no time were any of the Real Madrid players touched tight on him. He had the room at least to set up the shot. By the time Sergio Ramos was closing him down, it was too late. Trigueros has scored some belting goals in La Liga this season. This is his fourth goal. Villareal in the driving seat on the basis of the first half performance. They deserve it.
1-0 to Villareal. Manu Trigueros the scorer. And, well, for Real Madrid, the problems after losing, as we said, midweek on their visit to the same part of the country, to Mestalla, where they lost to a troubled Valencia side. Well, they have to do it all again this week and try and get back into this one. And Villareal have demonstrated in the 51 minutes played so far, they're very, very comfortable on the ball. Bakambu gets the better of a struggling Ramos there. Dos Santos finding Adrian. Dos Santos again to Bruno Soriano. Turns away from Gareth Bale and Benzema. Picks out Jaume Costa. Soriano.
Well, Villareal have lost just 2 of their last 12 matches here at the Ceramic Stadium. That's just some indication of the task at hand. They also, though, kept just 1 clean sheet in their last 4 La Liga games here, which just shows they'll have to tighten up the defence for the final 40 minutes or so.
Brilliant play between Castillejo and Manu Trigueros. Little back healer. Casemiro was fortunate. He didn't know anything about that. Marcelo was intelligent, going down and winning a free kick. Toni Kroos to start things off. Cristiano Ronaldo inside to Luka Modric. Kroos did well. Modric dispossessed, but it will fall through to Pepe.
Cristiano Ronaldo was urging people forward, ushering them upfield. Maybe doesn't feel that Real Madrid have enough in the attack at the moment.
Brilliant play from Modric. If all Bale leaves it and Benzema couldn't get to it. Trigueros playing it out to Bakambu. Dos Santos. Oh, this is lovely stuff from Villareal, looking so confident on the ball now. Adrian to Dos Santos. Adrian again. And Villareal, there are times when their passing play reminds you a little bit of Football Club Barcelona. I don't think Real Madrid are used to being passed off the park in the way Villareal have been doing so for these opening 53 minutes. They thoroughly deserve the lead. Here's Gaspar. Bakambu calling for it. A little bit of misunderstanding there between Mario Gaspar and Cedric Bakambu.
What Madrid have done at times against size is just allow them to have more of the ball and then use their mistakes to attack. But the pass percentage completion of Villareal has been so high, it's barely afforded Real Madrid an opportunity to get forward of any note. They've not been one-on-one with the goalkeeper at any time.
Cristiano Ronaldo back to Toni Kroos. Kroos gives it away to Dos Santos. And it's well won by Bakambu, but the referee blows the whistle for a foul on Casemiro. I've seen very few teams that look less likely to lose the ball when in possession than this Villareal side tonight. It's so far been an excellent performance. Can they keep it up? Real Madrid notoriously strong in the closing stages of games. Toni Kroos with the free kick here. That's a useful one too. Didn't quite fall for Sergio Ramos. Marcelo will get to that under pressure from Castillejo. Casemiro. Kroos. Real Madrid really need Kroos and Modric to get involved here. It's Gareth Bale, another one who could do with a sterling performance tonight for Zinedine Zidane. It's not quite happening yet. Modric. Kroos. Sergio Ramos. Marcelo. Everybody putting in a shift for Villareal. Samuel Castillejo sticking to Marcelo there. Ramos again. And overhits the cross. Goal kick. Changes being prepared as Adrian signals his lack of ability to continue.
It's going to be a familiar face.
It's going to be a familiar face, yes indeed.
Denis Cheryshev, on time of Real Madrid.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's not a bad substitution to make on 55 minutes. The Russian can cause all kinds of problems down the left flank for the Real Madrid defence. He's going to come out motivated too, of course. He's had an unlucky time of things through injury this season too. I feel Adrian Gonzalez has been brilliant. Here's Bakambu! 2-0 to Villareal, and the ceramic stadium erupts. Bakambu picking up the loose ball. The through ball into the Madrid penalty area. Madrid's defence split down the middle, literally down the middle. And Bakambu said, thank you very much. And you look on the face of Kroos, Marcelo and Ramos, and you see them asking themselves, have we got an answer for this? Absolutely split open there. The Real Madrid defence. Villareal 2, Real Madrid 0.
Well, the struggles continue for Real Madrid, very similar to the game against Valencia. The defence is at 6s and 7s. Suspicion maybe of an offside. It would have been marginal if so. Ramos was trying to get tight on Bakambu, but was able to shake him off.
That's a brilliant ball, though, from Soriano. I agree with you. I think Bakambu's narrowly offside, but the finish is brilliant. The first touch takes him away from Ramos. The left foot gives Keylor Navas no chance, but the vision of Soriano, once again, absolutely crucial. Ovation, a thoroughly deserved one for Adrian. He's really put in a shift today, and he will be replaced by Denis Cheryshev with the score. Villareal 2, Real Madrid 0.
We're going to see another substitution for Real Madrid. They're going to bring on Isco. Wonder if that's maybe just the response to that second goal. Bring him on in place of Casemiro. He's more of an attacking player. Zinedine Zidane has to go all out if Real Madrid aren't to drop points.
The problem is with making a change like this, Duncan, it's a real risk for Zinedine Zidane. It's the kind of risk you have to take if you're 2-0 down. But with the quality of this Villareal midfield, the lack of Casemiro, I think will be noted. But obviously Zinedine Zidane needs to look for some kind of miraculous comeback here.
Well, you would have thought maybe the answer would be to keep the ball more and to keep a more defensive strategy. But Zinedine Zidane's gone all-out attack with the presence of Isco.
Well, Ronaldo lost that one rather too easily. Gareth Bale keeps the ball in play. Isco's first touch. This is Luka Modric. Just floats through the challenges. Isco's cross! And the header always going wide. It's at least a decent first response. Ronaldo not too far away from the target, just caught it on the side of the head, I think, rather than the forehead. And it's going to be a very tough final half hour for Real Madrid, because the team that's looking confident, the team that's ahead, the team that's controlling things on the park is the team wearing yellow.
I just wonder if that change to bring on Isco is the beginning of a series of changes. Maybe Kovacic is going to come on to occupy more of the role that Casemiro had in another switch. Just wonder how much the ball Isco's going to see.
We also don't know whether Gareth Bale is going to be up for the 90 minutes or not. Lucas Vázquez, Alvaro Morata on the bench. There are options to shake things up a bit, but at the moment Real Madrid need a lot of shaking. It's Castillejo. Isco steaming in, trying to win it back, but a bit of a headless chicken aspect about his movement there. Oh, Villareal just looks so sublimely confident. One in the air by Ramos, only as far as Trigueros. Here's Dos Santos. Quickly to play that wide, and it's a brilliant challenge, brilliant anticipation by Carvajal, but Madrid lose it straight back again. And they're really going to suffer here, although on that occasion Dos Santos was just a little bit too confident. Here's Marcelo. Isco. Intercepted by Dos Santos. Isco did enough to find Pepe. Modric, Isco again. It's Gareth Bale. It's not the greatest of crosses. It falls to Ronaldo off the woodwork, and Benzema can't keep it down. And no wonder Cristiano Ronaldo looks frustrated. A little smile from Zidane. That was very close indeed.
A pinball effect inside the area. Andres Fernandez is able to get it half away. He was left just a statue as Ronaldo hit that ball seemingly into the inside of the right post, but the upright keeping Villareal.
Cruz's corner, it's flicked on. Castillejo gets it away, and as far as Marcelo, who struck it hard, struck it firm, and struck it high. Let's see that earlier move. The cross comes in. It's not a great one. It comes off Victor Ruiz, who actually turns it into a perfectly weighted cross for Ronaldo. His volley, well, technically is just about as good as it gets, and Fernandez's knee was what he used to clear it in the end. Unfortunate there for Cristiano Ronaldo. So no change in the score, 2-0. That's a warning to Villareal. They don't want to get too cocky and start giving away the ball in central midfield too cheaply. Real Madrid can come back at you by winning a ball in that area at any time of the game.
Well, we saw a couple of misplaced passes in the aftermath of the goal. That's just because Real Madrid are pressing a little bit higher, pressing a bit more in the midfield.
Castillejo driving forward. It comes back to him. He tries to curl it with the outside of his left foot. It was always going to be an awkward one, and he ended up hitting the stanchion.
He had Bakamba with him, but plays the 1-2 off Toni Kroos even.
He was looking for Cherichev, I think. It came back nicely for him, but just couldn't get the ball out onto his out properly onto his left foot, and had to hit it in a kind of acrobatic style that didn't quite pay off. It's a free kick to Real Madrid. It's quickly taken. Ronaldo on the ball. Doesn't hit a good ball to Gareth Bale. It comes off the Welshman, and it's a Villareal throw-in. There's just the odd sign of concern among some of the Madrid players. I don't know to what point they feel confident of getting back into this one. There's still plenty of time. That's the fortunate side of things for them. Toni Kroos. Carvajal driving it in firmly straight to Andres Fernandez. There's been a decent reaction from Madrid since going 2-0 down. But, well, if we've said that they're past masters at finishing games well, Real Madrid, never giving up the fight until the final whistle. And we said there were complaints about the way they started games, or concerns, and now it's the way they started the second half. 2 goals down, when it seemed they'd weathered the worst of the storm in the first half. Cristiano Ronaldo very nearly fell. It's come to Isco. This is dangerous. Carvajal. And it's in the back of the net, and it's the Welsh wizard who does it. Gareth Bale on the far post. Lackluster defending there from Villareal have allowed Real Madrid right back into it.
And they are back into it indeed. Gareth Bale's second goal since his return to action. Another header from him. Side of this game, he's really improved since joining Real Madrid. The side he debuted against with a goal, and Gareth Bale does it again, and Real Madrid have 25 minutes in which to find an equaliser and, most importantly, get ahead, because a point will do them not too much good. They still want to maintain that gap they have at the top of the table.
Well, Villareal, I think, guilty of just taking their eye off the ball momentarily then after the second goal. They need to get back to the approach that had worked so well for them for the first 55 or 60 minutes.
Well, we just saw the distance covered stats. They've covered 5 kilometres more on average than Real Madrid. There's a lot of running after the ball, a lot of chasing lost causes, and a whole lot of battle in the midfield as well.
Modric finally gaining control of that one, and Ramos plays it back to Navas. Toni Kroos. There's Isco. Well, his introduction has changed things. Ronaldo, no, not Ronaldo's best attempt from the edge of the box. There's good-natured jeering from the fans. Just didn't come down at all nicely for him there. Isco's run, that's where he finds Carvajal. This is the goal. Gareth Bale just powering through. It's a great cross from Carvajal, and it was hit with enough force that Bale just needed to get his head to it. Oh, down goes Castillejo under the challenge of Ramos. You could hear the cry of pain from the Andalusian. And not too impressed with that challenge from Ramos. Nor should he be. And Ramos with that incredibly annoying gesture that he always makes after hacking the legs out from behind a rival. Gaspar floating it forward, headed clear by Pepe. Marcelo. Isco. Neat touch to Ronaldo. All of a sudden, Madrid sensing there's a way back into this. Marcelo. Just running into too many yellow shirts there. Isco. Ronaldo again. Marcelo gives it straight away to Cherichev, who ran into Luka Modric and has to play it back. Modric appeared to just pause and go down, and you can see him there stationary. He's hopping and not looking too good, Modric there. Castillejo driving to the byline, no, stopping, cutting inside. Does well to get the cross through, but hits it straight at Ramos, who very nearly sent it straight back to him. Marcelo across the face of the penalty area. So brilliantly played on by Gareth Bale. And Benzema looking across. Ronaldo's there. Isco arriving. Benzema's crosses a poor one. He gets another chance. Picks out Bale, who can shoot from here. It's blocked. There were two players down to block it. They haven't got it away yet. Toni Kroos. And, well, the referee stops things. That was Jaume Costa, whose block has left him poleaxed. Modric clearly suffering.
Yeah, might see Modric come off in just a second. It was... so it's been a few minutes that Modric has been struggling on. He's not looked at the bench to call for a substitution. They do have Kovacic on the bench who could maybe come on.
Yeah, but you miss so much without Luka Modric. I've been impressed with Kovacic while substituting the injured Casemiro, but I'm not sure if he's a man to replace Luka Modric, not in these circumstances. It's not a bad thing for Villareal that players stopped momentarily. I think they were really suffering there. Jaume Costa will go off to receive treatment, but I think he's going to be okay. Either way, it was a great block to prevent Gareth Bale's shot reaching the target. The ball was in control of Real Madrid. Dani Carvajal had it. Modric appears to have recovered. Here's Toni Kroos. Marcelo. Isco. Still Isco, who gives it away or loses it to Castillejo, who really needs some support. He wins the throw.
Isco and Castillejo, two players who know each other well, shared dressing room at Malaga down in the south of Spain. Isco will have seen Castillejo come through, and Castillejo will know a lot of Isco's tricks. He is still running full pelt, absolutely tirelessly, Castillejo. If Villareal are able to get the victory, then he will be one of the key players for that win.
Trigueros causing all kinds of problems with Sergio Ramos. Pepe to Carvajal into the last 20 minutes of this. 2-1. Toni Kroos. Good news for Zinedine Zidane. Modric seems okay. Isco has really made a huge impact since coming on. There's Benzema. Marcelo. Benzema blocked by Castillejo. And just hoiked away into touch for a Real Madrid throw on the halfway line. Well, we can see about to come on for Villareal. Rodrigo Hernandez. There's good work there from Carvajal, although the final product wasn't there. There's claims for a penalty, and a penalty's being given. Trigueros on his knees pleading to the referee, Ruiz as well. Let's have a look again. Toni Kroos congratulated by Pepe there. Escribá is having furious words with the fourth official. The home fans aren't happy. Let's see a repeat. Ronaldo preparing to take it. The Villareal players surrounding the ref. Well, it clearly comes off his hand. Is there any way you can get out of the way there if you're Bruno Soriano?
Might even just kind of roll up his chest slightly. It's very harsh on Bruno Soriano, who, remember, against Barcelona, had a pretty blatant handball not called.
With it. Absolutely, yeah. And Fran Escribá, normally one of the calmest men on the benches of La Liga, is beside himself. Bruno will miss the next game for the yellow card. I just wish, Duncan, that the referees followed the same criteria for handballs and penalty decisions, because there's no way that's intentional. It's not a particularly strange move. It comes off a rebound onto him. There's going to be more punishment for players in the dugout. Escribá is furious, I think quite rightly so. I mean, if that's a penalty, you have to give them all. No? I mean, there's no way you can argue that's intentional. No way in the world. I'm not saying that shouldn't be given as a penalty, but so many times the justification for not giving it is by saying that it's not intentional. Well, that is not intentional from Bruno Soriano. Did it hit his hand? I think it probably did. Should that be a penalty? Well, it seems different refs have different ideas about that. Ramos having words now with Gil Manzano. Roberto Soldado, the substitute, who's been yellow carded. The shout or the chant around the ceramic stadium is, that's the way that Real Madrid won. Escribá's been given his marching orders as well. What a turn up. It's going to be Ronaldo against substitute keeper Andres Fernandez. The return of the referee greeted by jeers from the fans behind the goal there, who are absolutely furious.
Ronaldo's missed just one of his last 5 penalties.
Oh, and he doesn't miss this one. Fernandez got to it, but that was struck so firmly. And the disappointment from the keeper, Toni Kroos, with a little smile. And is this a repetition, or is it another one? I know that's the yellow card to Roberto Soldado, the former Madrid man. Well, with all of that, they didn't quite get to it. A brilliant penalty from Ronaldo. 2-2, and a quarter of an hour of tension to come. Marcelo's reaction there, not wanting to look, but he knows this is a bit of an escape act, because whilst it's been a brilliant reaction from Real Madrid to going 2-0 down, those two goals have been harsh, I think, for Villareal. Trigueros is the man replaced by Rodri Nandez, pretty much the same. In fact, for Villareal, Rodri and Trigueros are seen as the future holding midfield pairing when Bruno Soriano finally hangs up his boots, and they fit together quite well. This time Bruno stays on to be joined by Rodri.
Well, that means all 3 substitutes used by Fran Escribá, who's headed off to the stands. He will be suspended for Villarreal's game against Osasuna, which is coming up next.
Rodri's first touch, that fine pass to Bakambu. Bakambu just didn't quite read the intentions of Denis Cherichev there.
Well, Sergio Ramos have been asking the referee in the run for the penalty. It says you are adding these minutes on at the end. Real Madrid feel that a comeback is on.
Marcelo takes it away from Benzema, then gives it back to him. Here's Toni Kroos.
Well, we've seen this so many times from Real Madrid. They finish so strongly, especially when coming back from behind, when maybe the opponents just have reason to let their heads dip down.
I'm not even convinced it hits his hand. There's certainly no way he can get out the way of that. There's absolutely no way Fernandez can save that brilliantly taken penalty from Cristiano Ronaldo either. But psychologically, that's a blow. Morata on for Benzema is the next change.
And change here pretty much expected. Benzema usually comes off around this point in the game. Morata coming on to replace him. Just a like-for-like swap in the middle. Villarreal might just change their strategy to put a few higher balls into the box. Haven't seen send too many crosses over, bar that which was converted by Gareth Bale.
Fernandez with the goal kick. Marcelo didn't get to it, nor did Castillejo. It went through to Ramos. Toni Kroos. Luka Modric. Pepe. Carvajal. Offside against Alvaro Morata, his first participation in proceedings. Well, we thought the first half had been an excellent entertainment. The second, couldn't really ask for more. 4 goals, still 13 long minutes left. Just depends how Villareal can respond to the psychological blow of that penalty.
Costa has been in the wars, hasn't he? Just gets caught by Modric, who, well, that substitution bringing on Morata must mean that Modric is okay.
Ramos to Modric. Ramos. Isco. Marcelo. And it's blocked by Opsina. Well, that's some. Oh, I see. So, Rodri, it'll be a corner for Real Madrid. Get the impression, Duncan, that they're getting into more attacking situations, in situations that have a certain clarity to them with more ease at the moment.
Yeah, things are getting a lot better for Real Madrid. Ball into the box is going to be dangerous. Right until the end, we know what Sergio Ramos is capable of, and we know Sergio Ramos will keep pushing forward.
Costa gives it away. It's firmly hit to Ronaldo. Well, that appeared to me to be almost a possible handball claim, as Ronaldo's shot was charged down. Ronaldo goes flying, and it's going to be a yellow card, perhaps, for Manuel Gaspar. No, just a free kick. Going into the back of the Portuguese. He's quick to get to his feet. Cruz quick to take the free kick. Modric comes to Marcelo. Cruz. Madrid can do so much damage to you here. Isco. He's well blocked by Manuel Gaspar, but it is another Real Madrid corner. And all of a sudden, the whole momentum of the game has completely changed. Marcelo's cross, awkward one. Finally got away by Musacchio, and as far as Ramos. Well, that's headed straight at Toni Kroos. Now Modric. Just Madrid all of a sudden push the whole of the Villareal team back. Marcelo's cross is dangerous too. And neither Morata nor Ronaldo could get on the end of it.
Just Real Madrid so strong, finishing games. Villareal holding on here. You just wonder what Villareal's strategy is going to be. They must be tiring now after putting in the superior amount of miles. And there'll be some very tired players out there, and some players who have to go again in the game against Osasuna, which is coming up on Wednesday. Real Madrid take on Las Palmas also on Wednesday at the Santiago Bernabeu.
There's been absolutely no link with Cherichev or Bakambu in the last 15 minutes. And just feel Villareal have lost the confidence in holding on to the ball. Either that or Madrid are just really biting their legs with more intensity than in the first hour or so of the game. Cruz quick to take the free kick. This time Ronaldo loses it, but now it's Villareal who seems to have the ball's almost burning their feet. It's just, they just can't string 2 or 3 passes together, which is exactly what they were doing so well for the first hour. Carvajal blocked. Modric. Carvajal blocked by Jaume Costa. Picked up by Cherichev, won back by Modric. Sergio Ramos. Cruz. Ramos to Cruz again. Morata. Marcelo. Dainty pass, gets it back from Morata. Pepe. Good interception, but Ronaldo winning it straight back again. Toni Kroos. Not his best ball. Goal kick. 82 minutes on the clock. You can't really see another end to this, Duncan, except Madrid dominating things, forcing Villareal back to the edge of their penalty area for what remains of the game.
Yeah, Villareal, they've done so well in this one, as you say before, the link between the front players just hasn't come together in the last few minutes. Villareal, whilst not hanging on, it's the fact that Real Madrid are finally getting the better of situations. They're not defending completely deep, Villareal, but Real Madrid having a lot more of the ball. And we've seen this script before.
Castillejo. Play on, says the referee, to the ire of the home crowd. Ronaldo setting Marcelo through. Brilliant. What a ball in! And it's Alvaro Morata. Absolutely breathtaking counter from Real Madrid. 3-2. They have responded in a way we thought was impossible for a long hour or 65 minutes in this game. The last 10 or 15, it's been one-way traffic, absolutely destroying Villareal. And that is a textbook counter-attack.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Castillejo. He's had such a good game to lose the ball there.
I think he felt he might have been fouled. The referee waved it on.
It's a great header, though, from Alvaro Morata. We were just saying that maybe the arrival of Morata means more balls into the box. Marcelo with a great delivery, so good at crossing in from that left-hand side once he goes deep. And Morata with a good header past Fernandez, who does get a hand on it.
I think he should have done a lot better there, Andres Fernandez. Unfortunately, I think that's got to go down as an error from the keeper. It's a tremendously firmly struck header. It's headed down, which is awkward for him. It's right at him, so to get down and block it isn't the easiest of things to do. But I think having got down and got a touch, he has to save that. Either way, Madrid, well, I mean, it was so clear what was going to happen. Now can Villareal somehow wake up? This is Rodri. Bruno Soriano. Chedichev.
Real Madrid ahead for the first time in this game. It's Villareal on course for their first defeat here in 5.
Samu Castillejo. Rodri. Can't quite keep it in play. He felt he was fouled. The linesman not indicating anything of that nature to the referee. It's a throw into Real Madrid, which Marcelo will take. This is the first play in the Real Madrid area that I can remember in the last 15 minutes since the first Real Madrid goal. Bakambu, neat footwork. Still Bakambu, he needs some help. He goes down. The fans are claiming penalty. Marcelo. The throw-in goes to Villareal.
Just one of the effect the atmosphere's had on Villareal. It's been very negative since Real Madrid got their second. Lots of whistles and jeers, all right, for the Real Madrid players, but it's almost defeatist attitude.
And that's a rather defeatist look from Dos Santos as he realises he can't get on the end of Rodri's ball. And we're just about into the last 4 minutes. It's a brilliant cross from Marcelo. Maybe seeing it again, Duncan, my words against Andres Fernandez are a little harsh.
He does get his hand on it. If he's maybe got his hand outstretched, he will keep that out. It seemed just to trickle over the line. It had some pace on it, the ball, after Morata's header, but Fernandez was certainly close to it. Wouldn't have been too much of a surprise if he had kept it out.
Keylor Navas with the goal kick. It's won by Rodri. Ramos. Marcelo with just a kind of hit and hope there. Brought down brilliantly by Ronaldo, who does some showboating. Gareth Bale's taken a knock there. He fell really awkwardly there. Ronaldo making friends, as he does in most of the grounds of La Liga Santander. Tremendous jaw-dropping skill from the Portuguese there. But this is very, very serious looking indeed.
I'm not sure it's even contact with anything from Gareth Bale. Just overextends as he swipes at the ball. Someone who's struggled with ligament problems.
Well, he's on his feet is the good news. looking a little ginger, looking a little concerned. He'll be taken off immediately and replaced by Lucas Basquez. But to see him get off the pitch on his own feet, I think it has to be a good sign, Duncan.
Yeah, it is a positive, but he's making that signal that it was with the two fists together that it might be just a muscle strain. Sensible move from Zinedine Zidane. He's got that substitution in hand. Takes Gareth Bale off, just get him immediately checked out.
2 minutes of regulation time left. We had 4 minutes extra time in the first half. I imagine we'd see something like that in the second. But right now it's looking more like Real Madrid making it 4-2 than Villareal getting an equaliser. Cruz with the corner. And that wasn't far away from Sergio stoppage time Ramos.
Well, he was the man who'd been asking the referee to make sure he added on the stoppage time. Wouldn't be surprised, you know, if we had 5 minutes or so. There was such a melee in the run-up to the penalty, with Fran Escribá being sent off, yellow cards for Soldado. And Fran Escribá, his complaints even before he was sent off, ran down plenty of time.
There's Rodri. Manages to find Jan Acosta. It's a good cross. It's going to fall. They're claiming handball. It's Dos Santos who puts it wide. There's a huge claim for handball. Mario Gaspar goes to speak to referee Gil Manzano, who's not moved. Great ball in, though. No handball there.
It's off the back of Marcelo. Well, just off the back of his hand, but there's no way he can.
But you can say the same for Bruno Soriano at the other end. There's no way he can know it's coming. There's no way he can get away with it, away from it, rather. That would be the argument from the Villareal point of view. I mean, to my mind, that was even less of a penalty that we've just seen. Ronaldo's down, wins a free kick, caught in the back by Bruno Soriano, who helps him up. I think Real Madrid have this aura of almost like a Terminator. You just can't stop them when they're on one of these epic comebacks, and that's the kind of look that you can see in the eyes of some of the Villareal players. What can we do? How can we possibly do any more than we've done? Well, let's keep it up until the fat lady sings, unfortunately. And for Real Madrid, this is part of their genetic code, really, isn't it? Rodri goes down. That'll be a free kick and a yellow card for Pepe. He won't mind taking that one for the team. 4 minutes added time.
How different things seemed when Villareal were 2-0 up and completely running the game with just so much confidence about them. Their pass percentage must have gone way down in the last 20 minutes of the second half.
Through ball, over hit. Keylor Navas watches it over the line. Goal kick, 3 minutes to go. Well, it may not be too healthy for your heart if you're Zinedine Zidane, but what a brilliant feeling it must be, and what pain for Escribá and his men out there tonight. Keylor Navas sending it down the left flank. Neither Ronaldo nor Mario Gaspar get a touch. Victor Ruiz. Just over 2 minutes left for the Yellow Submarine to try and get something out of this game. They've put so much into this game. But looks as though they're going to be going home empty-handed. Musacchio, Dos Santos, Rodri, Ruiz to Costa.
A victory for Real Madrid will put them back top after just a matter of hours since Barcelona went provisionally to the head of the table.
Cruz's clearance, Morata clearly looking to fool the ref there and not managing to do it. Rodri, Bakambu, Cherichev, Bakambu. He tried to go for it with his hand. I think he realised he wasn't going to get there. I mean, wasn't too far away. Navas was quickly off his line. There's another Madrid player down, and the scream of agony you can hear. Referee not too interested. Carvajal, and Morata misses the chance to put this one to sleep.
Well, he's recovered miraculously, Alvaro Morata, from that knock he took to his face. Ball pulled across, and Morata should really bury that. It's coming out at a nasty height for him, just a little bit off the ground. Just Cherichev catches Vasquez there. Little jar to the knee.
Well, he's back on his feet, but a few more seconds have gone. The ball in possession of Villareal. They've just got one last chance. Can they do it? I don't think they have the belief in themselves at the moment. Bruno's going to try and get in the box. No, he plays it wide to Costa. Costa looking for Cherichev. Carvajal was there. And it's all over. And Mr. Gil Manzano will have some explaining to do, I would imagine, in the changing rooms and tunnels after this for Real Madrid. What a remarkable victory. 3 more points. With 70 minutes gone, Duncan, I felt there was no way back for Real Madrid. They just didn't seem to be in the game at all. But that fighting spirit, you have to admire it. It makes them almost unstoppable. What a comeback, what a win.
Just a complete change of confidence from both sides. Real Madrid didn't look to have any confidence. Villarreal had theirs sky high. Just a complete change of balance after especially that second goal went in.
Minute 93, that supporter's shirt says, in memory of, well, almost any number of Sergio Ramos goals, I think, in Champions League finals. Absolutely astonishing, the fighting spirit this team have. Like them or loathe them, Real Madrid, with 10 minutes to go, are so frightening. And that was shown today in a game where I felt Villareal put in a magnificent performance. I think even you could probably say that, giving all the players marks out of 10, the Villareal players would get higher scoring. But Real Madrid come back when they need to, and that is a huge win and 3 huge points.
This was a game they would have marked a real difficult game. Maybe for Valencia, not so much. Coming into this one, well, Villareal will be very disappointed they haven't got more from this.
Let's speak to Marcelo.